Welcome to the Blooming.
Welcome to this episode of Season 2 of And the EGOT Goes To, a breakdown and predictions podcast for the major US based award shows. Today we continue our second season with our coverage of the 77th Tony Awards and the 2023-2024 Broadway season. I'm your host, Spencer, and with me is our panel.
Hi, I'm Ashley. I see a lot of theater. I talk about it on TikTok, Instagram, all of the platforms, and I'm really excited about this season.
Hi, I'm Kate. Theater is my life, and I love seeing it, and I cannot wait to talk about the season, which is overwhelming in the best kind of way.
Today, we continue our breakdown and conversation about the different nominations in the categories at the Tony Awards. Today, we will start by discussing the honoree of the Isabelle Stevenson Tony Award, Mr. Billy Porter. Billy Porter has made extraordinary contributions as an activist for the LGBTQ plus community. We are truly honored to present him with this year's Isabelle Stevenson Award, said the president of the league and the president of the American Theater Wing. He has lent tremendous time, effort, and support to a variety of organizations, including the Elizabeth Taylor AIDS Foundation, the Entertainment Community Fund, and Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS, all while becoming an unstoppable force on stage, screen, and beyond. Yay for Billy Porter.
He does a lot for theater, and I think that's great. I really liked him in oh my goodness, New York City Center.
Chili's Last Jam.
Yeah, Jolly's Last Jam. I would love to see a Billy Porter Hermes at some point. I feel like that's what that was giving, and I would love to see it. You know, good for Billy. It's like I feel like he shows up there every year somehow. We got the in memoriam. Give him an award.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, and I think this one is, the special awards, they're always well deserved, but I feel like Billy Porter has always been the face of a lot of activism, especially within the theater community, and so I love seeing him get recognized for that.
And so now we'll start with our acting nominees. Our first two categories have ties. Featured actor in a musical. Our nominees are Roger Bart for Back to the Future, Joshua Boone for The Outsiders, Brandon Victor Dixon for Hell's Kitchen, Sky Lakota Lynch for The Outsiders, Daniel Radcliffe for Merrily You Roll Along, and Steven Skybell for Cabaret the Kit Kat Club.
Yeah, I'm really happy with this category. I feel like there's a lot of for both, obviously this and featured. I had a very long list of people that I was very sad were not going to be nominated, and I'm glad that we got more than expected because this was really a hard year, and you have what 20 musicals and so many people giving incredible performances. Uh, to me, I feel like it is Daniel Radcliffe's to lose. Like, I just don't see a world in which Daniel Radcliffe doesn't win this. But I'm really happy that we got a Steven Skybell nomination. I love him. I love him in Cabaret. I've been obsessed with him since Yiddish Fiddler. I'm so glad he is recognized, especially for the Jewish role in this production of Cabaret. And I'm happy Brandon Victor Dixon got a Hell's Kitchen nomination because I think he's really good at piano and he's one of my favorite parts of that show. And Joshua Booth, like again, everyone I'm like, oh, but it's true. Like Joshua Boone has my favorite song on The Outsiders. I love seeing some first time nominees here.
Yeah, the fact that this is Daniel Radcliffe's first Tony nomination is ridiculous, but he deserves it for this one, and I hope that he wins.
Oh, and I also think we forget that like Daniel Radcliffe is like literally like a billionaire. Like he doesn't have to do this. Like he doesn't have to get paid like minimum Broadway salary to like do a theater show at New York Theater Workshop. That then you're like, but he's doing this because he like loves theater, and I think that's really cool that like we have a huge celebrity who just like wants to be on Broadway again and again and again, like doing weird shows like Merrily We Roll Along. Like that's great. Also, shout out to his parents for raising a ridiculously just healthy child. For someone that could be so screwed up from being a child star, and every time at every turn, he always just says the right thing and makes the right choice. And I'm just like, wow, is he so normal?
Best child actor, hands down. Yeah, obviously this is Daniel Radcliffe's to lose. I feel like this category is Daniel Radcliffe and Steven Skybell, and then they just drew names out of a hat. Like that. They just took all of the actors and they're like, all right, let's pick. I'm still not over the Paul Alexander Nolan snub here.
So mad about
I don't think I'll ever be over that snub. I am shocked still when I look at this list. But shout out to the other four men. I think they all did a great job, but it was literally like they just they just picked 4 random actors and were like, there you go. Give it to Daniel.
Yeah, I do think Paul Alexander Nolan is the biggest snub in this category.
I think of the whole year. I'm not even joking. Like, I think he is my biggest snub of any category this entire season.
I
I
agree.
can't think of anyone that's more snub than him.
Like,
I remember I also would have loved to see a Conrad Ricamora nomination here, but like it's not surprising that
oh
wasn't
yeah. I would have
given.
loved to have seen Conrad. I would have loved to have seen Liam, but I wasn't like expecting those the way I was expecting a Paul Alexander Nolan. You know, like that was like
Also a little surprised with all the
Sure.
love that Here Lies Love got that we didn't get
no
that
acting.
nomination in there.
I mean,
Here Lies
what? Water of Relevance got like what? 12 nominations, 10 nominations,
Something
and
like
no
that.
actor.
No actors.
No, there were no actors in the show.
Yeah, there's no one in it. Didn't you know that, Ashley? There's
It's
no one in
it's
that show.
just the elephant
It's
Yeah.
just Jessica Stone
and
directing
water.
it.
And I haven't seen Outsiders yet. It's my last original musical. Great performances.
It's great. These wouldn't have been well, one of them would have been the one of 2 actors that I picked for a nomination, but one of them wouldn't have. I'm glad they both got nominated though. But you know what? Neither of them are Paul Alexander Nolan in Water of Relevance, where you're like, that's a nomination.
Truly the best part of the show. Yeah. Has he been nominated before for anything?
I don't think so. Maybe. I don't even think he was nominated for Slave Play, and that was nominated for like freaking the most Tony Awards other than Stereophonic now.
Sorry, I'm on Wikipedia and it just goes, Jesus Christ Superstar, Christ, 2011. And I was like, yes, he is Jesus. He was also so good in Parade. Sorry, I'm just.
Yeah, no, he was. He has a Drama Desk award. He was nominated for Drama Desk for Bright Star and nominated for an Outer Critics Circle for Dr. Zhivago.
Wrong. All these are wrong. I've never not seen him in anything, and every time I've ever seen him in anything, I've left being like, that guy's very good. He played Tony in the 2009 Stratford Festival West Side Story. That's wild.
It's like finding out for the next category that this is Leslie Krister's first nomination, where you're just like, how you're consistently one of the best things in everything you're in.
I was shocked. I honestly assumed she'd been nominated like multiple times. Like I never would have thought it was her first time.
And with that transition, featured actress in a musical, we have Shoshana Bean for Hell's Kitchen, Amber Rahman for Lempicka, Nikki M. James for Suffs, Leslie Rodriguez Kritzer for Monty Python's Spamalot, Keisha Lewis for Hell's Kitchen, Lindsay Mendez for Merrily You Roll Along, and Bibi Newirth for Cabaret at the Kit Kat Club.
I actually hate this category because I love these people so much.
I hate this category so much. It's so good. And then when you look at the fact that Joy Woods is not on that list, and it's like, where do you put her? Where do you put, like, she would be an 8th person.
It's so interesting. I don't know about you, but like my entire TikTok FYP is Joy Woods content right now. Like
it's literally
every
all
single
my days.
video is people either covering my days, dancing to my days, and going, how was Joy Woods not nominated for my day? Like every single video. And Joy Woods has reposted half of them, which makes me so happy.
These are in fact her days. Not of being a Tony nominee, but of being all of TikTok.
And other than Paul Alexander Nolan, that was my biggest snub, was Joy Woods. Again, where do you put her?
Exactly. I at least have space for Paul Alexander Nolan on the other list. There's literally not a single name I would swap out to get Joy Woods in there, but I need her in there.
It's also even like someone like a Jen Colella is like wild that like she's not it. Like again, like it's just it's a crazy Hannah Cruz. Like it is a crazy year. Like we need a featured actor. Oh yeah, supporting and featured category separate.
Or we need to separate the originals and the revivals.
Yeah, but then for that, I guess you're right. We have
because then all the Merrily people could win,
or the Merrily people would be up against each other. You'd have Daniel versus Lindsay.
It should be fun.
I assume you would do that to go genderless. In which case,
but you know what? I would love a Daniel versus Lindsay. I prefer that to a.
I would too. For a variety of reasons.
But I don't know. I feel like this is again, probably Lindsay's at this point. I feel like the Marilee hype is
Yeah.
just and earned, but like too strong. But I could see BB sneaking in here.
I don't know. I saw Cabaret again yesterday, and I'm a little off the Cabaret hype train that I was on when I saw it the first time. BB Newirth's good, but Lindsay Mendez gets better every time I see her, and I didn't feel that way about BB. And like, she's still incredible.
I agree. I just think and I don't mean that, again, not that BB's not amazing and doesn't deserve every honor that she's ever gotten. I feel like when you have someone like a BB in a category, like people just are obsessed with her. And I agree that I do think that,
Yeah.
right.
Well, it's like when you see a Patti LuPone or like any of those people.
I still think Lindsay's got it. Like I still just from like, that's like I was at a party, but I was at an opening night party last week or this week, and I was talking to people, and I feel like Lindsay is like the runaway favorite. I mean, a lot of people love Keisha Lewis, but I just don't think they could beat the hype from like, again, it's hard to say what Keisha is doing. It's hard to have someone like Lindsay who you could argue would be leading in a featured role. Like I do think she's featured, but you could argue that she could be leading. And it's really hard to have what she is doing in Marilee compare it to someone like Keisha, who has like 2 really powerful moments in Hell's Kitchen, or Nikki, who has like 2 powerful moments in Suffs, or even Leslie, who has like half a show.
Literally 2 songs.
Like, how do you compare that to what Lindsay gets to do in Marilee, which is be on stage for most of the show and have multiple arcs? Like, and again, like thrilled that Shoshana got nominated here. I would love anyone. This is a call to anyone to write Shoshana Bean a musical for Shoshana Bean where she gets to do her thing. Like, please, anyone. I am so happy for Amber Iman. I think she, to me, is like the star that has emerged from Limpika. And obviously we know she's been working for a while, but like, I think now she is a name that everyone knows and recognizes. And I hope we get to see her capitalize, like when Limpika closes in a week, but like now people will know her name and bring her in and like really build something around her. Cause I think she has like her singing, her acting like is unmatched. But at the end of the day, I just think that the getting to be Mary in Marilee Roll Along is like, it's too big of a role not to honor in this category.
And that's also part of the argument for a supporting and a featured, is like someone like Keisha Lewis or Leslie Kritzer are supporting. They are not featured in the way that Lindsay Mendez is.
Exactly. And you see some of those performers that have the smaller, like more featured roles rather than a supporting. You see them win a lot in plays, but we really don't see that with the musicals. It's usually like basically
Well,
a
I would
second
argue
lead.
last year, Alex
But
Newell
Alex Newell was
in
actually
way
quite a big
that
part of Shucks. Like,
supported.
I agree. I said that too. And then I was thinking about it. I was like, Alex Newell sang like half of Shucks. Like, it was on stage for a lot of Shucks. Like, obviously, they had their one big, huge number, but then they also sang the like number, the 3 of them. They have the best friend number. Like, there's a lot of Alex and Shucks outside of the big number that is independently owned. Because I was saying that too, and then I started thinking about it, and I was like, I actually think I'm wrong here. I actually think Alex would be supported. Anyway,
Alex is the like the second female lead in that show.
Anyway, sad that we're gonna have men winning actor again, but here we are.
Next, we have leading actor in a musical. We have Brody Grant for The Outsiders, Jonathan Groff for Merrily We Roll Along, Dorian Harewood for The Notebook, Brian Darcy James for Days of Wine and Roses, and Eddie Redmayne for Cabaret.
Look, I'm still team Jonathan Groff. Eddie's incredible. I just feel like his performance is so polarizing. He's not going to get the votes, and everybody else is filling out the category.
Yeah. I get a pub.
This is
right. It's Groff. I mean, like, at this point, like I literally can't see any. Like, I think Brian could get 1 or 2 people love Days of Wine and Roses and they love him as a person, but like
he was incredible in Days of Wine and Roses.
No, he's great. Like, but again, like I think that John he has 5 Tony nominations, but no wins, which is actually quite crazy. Yeah, I mean, again, I could see him getting a couple votes his way, but in general, I feel like even from the beginning of the season, I was like, Jonathan feels like the big front runner here.
And it's about
Yeah.
time that he,
I mean, he's done his time.
And
as has Brian Darcy
yes.
James. I would not be unhappy. I think that those are the two that would get it, and I would not be unhappy with either of them. Because they're both people who have given incredible performances for many years.
Yeah, but Marilee is probably winning Revival, and Days of Wine and Roses is not even nominated. So
it could win Best Score.
Maybe I'm stupid, and I didn't realize that Adam Gettle was Richard Rodgers' grandson till yesterday. Yeah. So that's what
Mary Rogers' kid. He doesn't want people to know that, so that's usually why people aren't aware.
Nepo.
Well, because I went to this show about Jews on Broadway, and they were like, in Judaism, it's all about generation to generation, and they're like, and no one like shows that more generation to generation than the Rogers family. I was like, Adam Gettle.
A little surprised Brody Grant was nominated, but I still haven't seen it. So
I was surprised
good
too, but I also was like, no, I mean, like I feel people like the love The Outsiders is getting, it doesn't shock me, and he's very good in it, and he's like, I feel like I didn't even have him on my long list, so to be honest, but you know,
I'm more shocked that Dorian Harewood snuck in, and you know what? He's great. He's fantastic. Of all the performances in The Notebook,
wild.
yeah.
Like who?
And no nomination here for Tommy.
Yeah.
And
which I did feel was a little bit.
And not for Chip.
Yeah.
Chip, I wasn't surprised by Chip. Justice for Chip Side here, but
that's really my biggest snub here.
Yeah.
His Chip.
I had Chip in instead of Dorian, but they were like, we're going to reward one older person playing an older person looking back on their life in a musical. And
there were so many. But you know what a great time to be an older man on Broadway now.
What a great time to be over the age of 50 on Broadway right now.
That's true.
We're in a renaissance. And in fact, next season, I believe everything announced is featuring someone over the age of 70. So like, we have the Holland Taylor, I guess it hasn't announced, but the Holland Taylor play that everyone knows is coming because it's already up on Ticketmaster. We have The Roommate. We have like all of these shows.
I was like, who's the old person in Boop?
Oh yeah, forgot about Boop. But
no,
there's an old man.
No, but he's not actually old. But the woman is.
They have an old man who's not actually old. It's just some young guy in like old age makeup.
But like, you know, when it comes to like Water for Elephants has like a ton of people who are like the actor making his Broadway debut at 61. Like, we are really, if you are an older person who wants to be on Broadway, do I have good news for you?
But yeah, I had Ali and Chip in this category instead of Brody and Dorian.
Same. I think a lot of people did. I'm not, you know, more power to Brody and Dorian. I think they're both fantastic. But best leading actor in a musical?
Leading actress in a musical. Eden Espinosa for Lampica, Malia Joy Moon for Hell's Kitchen, Kelly O'Hara for Days of Wine and Roses, Marianne Plunkett for The Notebook, and Gail Rankin for Cabaret. I'm leaning towards Kelly on this one.
I'm also leaning towards Kelly at this point. For everything I've heard, I think it's going to be Kelly.
I'm kind of rooting for Marianne Plunkett in this category.
I am right. Correct. I am personally rooting for Marianne Plunkett, but I actually think Kelly O'Hara.
I'm sorry. It is wild to me that we have a category of 7 featured actresses where you could make it easily 14 who I all think are giving better performances than 90% of these leading actresses in a musical. And no offense to the leading actresses, but like, what the heck?
I mean, I would say it's more of a book issue than it is a performance issue, but
yeah. And you know what is also wild to me is, again, I saw Cabaret again yesterday. Sally Bowles easily could be considered a featured actress, has been in the past. The entire time I was like, I forgot Sally's actually not in this a lot. Like, I think Lindsay Mendez may actually be on stage more than Gail Rankin. Like, if we're being honest. Marianne Plunkett, great actress, in the entire show hardly says anything. Like, the category of leading actress in a musical is just
I get why they pushed her to
me
leading
this year.
because she's here in leading and she could theoretically win in leading. And like, I don't think there was a world where she wasn't nominated for leading, but supporting, I don't even know if she would have been nominated. I'm going to give a little shout out to my girlie Eden, and I'm very happy she's here. I feel like this is her, like, people love her, like, industry loves her. This is her reward for being like someone who's worked really hard for a very long time as a always actor who people just adore. So I'm very happy that she got her nomination. And I'm excited that Malia Joy Moon got her nomination. She's a little baby, first Broadway debut. She sounds amazing. I'm glad that her and Shoshana get to do the thing together, and Keisha, her two moms really in the show. But at the end of the day, I do think it is a Kelly versus Marianne race.
Which is wild because before these opened, I thought it was going to be an Eden versus maybe
I think it was
Gail.
Eden versus whoever plays Sally, because that's why we didn't know who was playing Sally.
Yes, that is exactly. We did not know it was Gail Rank.
It's hard when Kelly's in a category because everyone just is obsessed with Kelly O'Hara, as they should be. Kelly O'Hara is amazing. And especially when you're like this, where I think that when there's not like a clear front runner, I think it's very easy to be like, over Kelly.
Unfortunately, I think illness just took Eden out of this race, and that kind of sucks because I think this was hers to lose.
And I will defend Eden and Olympika all day long because I think that she is a supernova who you literally just like cannot stop watching. And I think the acting that she is doing in that show is like transcendent. And I wish the material backed it up the way that it should have been and it could be. And I think if they gave me and Kate an hour, we could fix the whole show.
Literally, less than that. I'll take 30 minutes. I'll take 5 minutes to just cut the flower scene before Woman Is, and that'll greatly improve Eden's chances. Alone, right there.
Well, and that was my main problem with How to Dance in Ohio is there were some really great performances, but I didn't necessarily think some of the material backed it up. And I think we're seeing that also with Hell's Kitchen here.
It's the thing about, I mean, I don't, oh no, I guess the book writer of Hell's Kitchen is like a real person, but not that they aren't, that's not bad, but like,
Christopher Diaz?
That's what I meant. But I think that like
he's a ghost.
Ooh.
What I meant is for both How to Dance in Ohio and for Olympico, we're talking about new creative teams who have never done this before. And I think a lot of them probably had this idea of how these shows should go and how these shows have been. And in their head, they knew what the show looked like and sounded like and felt like. And I have no idea whether or not they got pushed back, but I feel like they were not, because they're new teams, it's hard to like be able to self-reflect and be like, I need someone to come in and edit this book for me.
I definitely imagine the team at Olympico was getting a lot more pushback than the team at How to Dance.
Well, because also the team at How to Dance in Ohio was entirely new.
Yeah.
We had a new director, a new book writer, a new song, like
new
every
producers,
all new producers. Right. And so I think, and I think it's hard to be like, I need someone outside of this who might have more experience than me to come in and tell me my things that are bad, because people don't like to hear things that are bad. They want to be told that everything they do is brilliant.
Yeah. It's also very hard, I've noticed, for people to be able to effectively communicate what they feel needs working on. Like people are very much want to like gloss over everything and not be like, what are we trying to do here? What is it sucks to see really great ideas like half the musicals this year be kind of watered down because I just don't think the creative team was strong enough.
Yeah, and my thing with Lempicka is I'd rather see a big swing like Lempicka is doing than someone who isn't taking any chances in doing something very standard.
But you know what else was a big swing this year? Days of Wine and Roses, honestly.
Yeah.
Not for me, but
nope, didn't like it. But some people
what
did.
A swing.
I will say, when it comes to book of a musical, Days of Wine and Roses has kind of a perfect book. Again, was it an enjoyable watch? No, but like, is it like actually like there was never a moment where I was like, this doesn't make sense. Like I was like, everything works in it. I'm just depressed watching it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the only creative issue that I had with it was some of the direction, but this just I just don't think I like Michael Graff direction anymore.
Well, but also I'm not blaming it on him considering he was directing 3 shows at the same time.
I absolutely blame that on him. What is he doing?
Well, yes.
Sometimes you gotta just say no.
And the answer to that is not saying no to Alicia Keys.
Yeah.
Well, but also, like, who do you say? That's the problem with what's happening right now is you have all these shows that were in development before COVID that are all coming at the same time. It's the same thing with like Water for Elephants, Outsiders, and Notebook that Ryan Vasquez
You know what?
ripped out all
Ryan
three.
Vasquez had to choose a musical. Maybe Michael
Yeah.
Grive should have too.
I think maybe we have to agree that people should only be allowed to direct one thing a season.
Maybe two.
Yeah, Kenny Leon.
But you know what? Lila Neugebauer did too, and only one of them was good. So sorry, Lila. If you listen to And the EGOT Goes too.
But you know what was great? It should probably appropriate, which will probably win. So good for her.
Thank goodness.
But also, you're allowed to have multiple shows on Broadway at once, just not in the same season. Look at Jessica Stone with Kimberly Akimbo and Water for Elephants. Great direction for
Yeah,
both
yeah,
of
yeah,
them.
yeah. Well, and I even think you can direct multiple shows on Broadway, but doing them where they're all in the preview period at the same
It's got
time.
to have like 15 associates.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to this episode of And the EGOT Goes Too. You can follow the show at EGOT_podcast on Instagram and Twitter. And we will be back next week with the best choreography, orchestrations, book, and score.